do what I do.
Now you see to the charade, I guess. Everybody knows this wasn't about building bridges or restarting communication. This is about saving their careers. I told you guys earlier that MSNBC is floundering. They have low ratings. And suddenly, Mika Brzezinski suddenly found it convenient to cozy up to this same man who they said was a threat to democracy. See, it's not just about these two white liberals, though. It's about the greater betrayal of Black Americans by white liberals. They've used us as tools in their game of political opportunism. And for years, white liberals told us that Donald Trump was the enemy. He was the embodiment of evil. They framed him as a danger to all of our very existence. They said we was going to be back in chains. Y'all remember that? That's very strong language. But the cold part about it, these folks bought you bought the narrative. We rallied behind that Kamala, the half Indian Jamaican. We went along with all this rainbow stuff that most Black folk don't want to have anything to do with. We even turned on each other, got in heated debates. Trying to see who was woke enough to fight Trump's supposed fascism. But now look what happened. These same liberals, these same Democrat liberals who called Trump a dictator are now meeting with him in private, probably down there smoking weed and drinking rum, smiling all in his face, looking for favors. Isn't that hypocrisy? If not, it's damn show betrayal. And it's a clear message that these so-called principles of this party that we are supporting were nothing more than a performance. And so now you got people like Sonny Hostin up here trying to act like they mad.
Let me just dissect. Let me just
It
was a lot. I know that as a country,
you look like a fool. That's why you're mad. Somebody type fake news in the chat room. You want to say Mika Brzezinski and these white liberals lack journalistic integrity. You lack journalistic integrity. You do. You are fake news. That's what's going on. Now, to the Black women who are listening to this broadcast right now, I want you to hear me. You've always been at the forefront of these movements. You've been giving your all to these causes that claim to fight for equality and justice and progress. Yet time and time again, you've been used and then discarded and left to pick up pieces while those that you supported return to the comfort of their very system they claim to oppose. Let me remind you about Joy Reid's recent revelation. Somebody type revelation in the chat room. Hallelujah. You heard what Joy Reid said recently? She said Black women are no longer willing to participate in white women's fake outrage against Donald Trump and the other Republicans. Did you hear that? I'm paraphrasing. Basically, she got on a little TikTok page after Donald Trump was elected. And she went off and said, if you guys are going to be protesting against Donald Trump, don't send any invites to Black women. You heard her? Why she say that? Huh? She said that because she found out that these same white women who claim to be allies in the fight for democracy and equality and women's rights and women's sexual rights and birthing rights, turned around and voted for Trump's ass. To 52%. They voted for grabbing by the ussy. 52% of them. But y'all told him, but this man has an essay on the books. He's got 34 felonies, and white women still voted for him. 52%. That's not an accident. That's not a coincidence. That is a choice. And this isn't new, black women, because historically, white women have always leaned on black women as their avatars. You are the white woman's spirit animal. That's what you are. You are that white woman's foot soldier in the battles that are never truly ours. They rally black women together, get y'all all turned up, and got y'all all into feminism and abortion rights and this so-called gender equality, only to abandon you the moment their interests are secure. They done curled up with their man again. Think back to the suffrage movement. Black women like Ida B. Wells and Mary Church Terrell, they fought tirelessly for the right to vote. But when it came time to include black women in the benefits of that victory, white women turned their backs on black women. They prioritized alliances with white men, ensuring that their own power and structure remain intact. That's what they did. That's what they did to you. Now look at the feminist movement. Black women joined hands with white women to fight for workplace rights, reproductive freedom, and equal pay. But when the movement achieved its milestones, where were those same white women when black women needed help addressing racial disparities in hiring and wages or healthcare? Nowhere. Because the truth is, white women have historically used feminism as a tool to gain power over white men for themselves, not to create equity for all women. They don't give a damn about you. And now here we are again, 2024. After years of preaching about how dangerous Trump was to democracy and women's reproductive rights, white women came out and voted for him in droves, just like they did in 2016 and just like they did in 2020. And they've chosen their loyalty to white men and their proximity to power over their so-called principles and their allegiances to you. And yet they expect black women to continue being the engine behind their outrage, the foot soldiers in their battles. Something to think about, ladies. Now, Joy Reid said that black women are no longer willing to play this game and that they're going to be focused on themselves, the black community, and black men and black children. Sounds good. Somebody type sounds good in the chat room. Sounds good. But see, we've seen this movie many times, and we know how it ends. Let me say that loud and clear. Black women have always been the backbone of progress.